Hello YouTubers and welcome back to Go Figure Customs YouTube channel. It's been a while since I've done a new action figure review, and thanks to our good friends at Boss Fight, I have a pretty cool action figure to go over today. This is one of the Planet Green Valley figures. This is Blue Wing Group. It's listed as Virginie. I think it's Virginia, but there's an E instead of a so they're calling it Virginie. The packaging is fantastic. I love this. I love the packaging. There's two pieces of tape holding the backing card in place. So quick swipe there and the card just slides right out. The card art is really cool. There's a line drawing behind the figure and then a nice piece of character art right there, kind of showing where all our gear goes, which is really handy because she comes with a ton of gear. On the back, there is a whole spiel that I'm not going to read today. Basically, it's just going over the back history of the story of these particular figures. Essentially, it's a post-apocalyptic. She's one of the good guys. What's kind of cool about this packaging is if you like to take your stuff out of the card to have a look at it, but want to put it right back in the card so you don't lose anything, because like I said, it comes with a ton of tiny gear, you can do that. It comes right out of the packaging, you put it right back in, and it looks brand new. It looks like you haven't even taken it out of the box. So it's a really good way to keep all your stuff in one place. Which is really handy. Or if you are like me and a customizer and like to or want to card your own customs, this packaging is perfect for that, because you could print your own card and glue it to this, trim it down, and voila, you have instant packaging. I mean, getting decent packaging is half the battle on carding your customs. You know what they say about half the battle. I think it's just knowing it. So there you go. All right, so 3 things I always review when I do a custom action figure review is packaging. So packaging is pretty awesome. Number 2 is playability. 3 is customizability. So like I said, the packaging's pretty awesome. I did keep, this is my third figure from, third Planet Green Valley figure from them. I pre-ordered these through Big Bad Toy Store several years ago, and they just now, well, not just now, I have 2 of them in hand, and I got those probably last year, early this year, I don't remember, probably last year. I think they were, I completely forgot that I'd pre-ordered them, and when I had gotten that pre-order, they said they weren't going to be able to get the 3rd figure, and sorry. And I understood, because this line, it seems plagued with any halfway reasonable distribution route. Unfortunately, Big Bad Toy Store had pre-orders for these things, which sold out immediately. Somebody would cancel one, which would put it back available, and it would be gone in seconds. I don't know if somebody's got like a filter that's searching those things out. I don't know, but man, these things have been really hard to get a hold of. The creator is on Facebook. You can PM him, and I think you can buy them directly from him. I don't know what the cost of those are through him. You would have to check with him. And I know one of the things you're going to ask me is how much I paid for this. And like I said, I did the pre-order several years ago. I don't know. It was between $20 and $30, which is about what you would expect to pay for a higher end, low run figure of this type from that's going to, that's anything that's going to be low production numbers are going to be higher in cost. Just to offset the production costs. That's why, like Hasbro stuff is so cheap, is because, or cheapish. Oh, excuse me, is because they make millions and millions of them at one time. So, what's in the package? You have to be really careful not to drop the package because I just foresee myself dropping this on the floor. And a lot of these accessories are carpet colored, and I would probably never find them again in this carpeting. All right. I did keep the packaging for my first 2 figures, and probably will keep the packaging for this one as well. I'm not quite sure why, because I've got a pretty decent, as you can see behind me, all the figures on the wall are my custom carded figures. I've got a pretty decent setup, pretty decent process, and I'm not going to change that. In fact, I got back from Comic-Con this weekend here in Denver, although they call it something else now, and got my Christopher Eccleston Doctor Who figure autographed, which was really cool. All right, what's in the box? We have I'm going to color Virginia, and I just dropped an X-Acto knife right by my foot. That almost landed blade down in my foot. That would have been not cool. It's sticking straight up in the carpet. Ouch. All right, so what do we have in the box? We have, I'm going to color Virginia because Virginie is just weird. Shoulder joints are a little bit tight. I might heat those up. Elbows are pretty decent. So it's the gal with the shorts and the tank top. The paint apps are insane. Really nice. Sculpting, the details fantastic. Like I said, the paint apps are great, especially on the face. There's just a little bit of shading, just a little bit of weathering, just a little bit of like dry brushing. She has kind of the rocker ankles and swivels at the top of the boots, double jointed knees. The hips, those are a little stiff. Yeah, but they're just kind of the regular hips that you'd find on like Marauder Task Force. And then she's got a swivel at the hip. Or does she have a swivel at the hip? Let me see here. Because that's the mid-torso. Yeah, there is a swivel at the hip. It's pretty limited just due to the sculpt. And then she has the mid-torso articulation. There we go. And then she has the mid-torso articulation as well. Elbows are articulated, standard shoulder joints. My shoulders are pretty stiff. I might heat those up a bit. Wrists are articulated. Left wrist goes up and down. Right wrist goes in and out. She comes with a second pair of hands. I'm guessing they just reverse how those joints work. And that is the figure. The accessories that she comes with a second head, which has, there we go. Oh, that was easy. It comes with a second head, which has kind of a little fuller but short hair. So I don't know if that's a page boy cut or not. I don't know. I'm not real up on my female hairstyles. And the reason for the second head is because she also comes with a gas mask, which I believe fits over the first head only. I'm a little worried about breaking those straps. They are pretty soft, but any of these like gas mask straps, I'm always a little wary about trying to force it on. It seems like it wants to go on, so sorry. A little loose on the ball joint on the head there. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the head off for a second, because I had some issues with the gas masks that came with the Joy Toy, one set of the Joy Toy figures. They didn't really want to go on very well. And they were supposed to go on with helmets, and it really just didn't work very well. This seems to work pretty decently, though. I might just go ahead and leave the gas mask on this head, since I got it on and I don't want to break it. Looks pretty decent on there, though. Some nice little bit of weathering. The sculpting, again, is fantastic on it. I really, really dig the accessories. I really wish these things were more readily available. I've seen people paying in excess of $100 a figure, and I refuse to do that. Even if I had the money, I can't justify it for one figure. Other accessories. It looks like she comes with 3 different scarves, which is kind of cool. I definitely like the choices that you can have with this. Let's pop her head off. So she's got just kind of a regular small scarf there. I'm gonna switch her head out just to see how it looks on there. So there you go with the smaller scarf. It's kind of a dark blue. Then a bigger scarf in the same color. And I think these will work well with her plate carrier too, which we'll look at here in a minute. I think I'll have to heat that up to open it up. So there's the blue one. And then she comes with the red one, which I think is not exactly the same piece, recolored. Let me see. It's really hard to tell. I think the red scarf is not just a repaint of the first one, which is kind of cool. I might be wrong about that, but there you go with the red scarf, which is pretty cool. What else do we have here? She comes with a real simple harness, which I think you could put on instead of the plate carrier. To get that on, you'll probably have to pop it in the middle, and she doesn't really want to come apart too easily. And it doesn't open. So I'm gonna guess that probably gonna have to, yeah, there we go. So just a simple ball joint in the middle. You're not gonna break that kind of a joint. So we get that on, and then the plastic's pretty soft on this. One of the things that you can do to make it a little easier to get these type of accessories on is heat them up with a blow dryer for a couple seconds. The plastic's really soft on this particular piece of gear, so you really wouldn't have to do it with this one, but I think we'll have to heat up the plate carrier to get it on. So there you go with just the regular harness. I don't know that will go under the plate carrier necessarily. I'm gonna try it just to see if it works. And the plate carrier is fantastic. I love that plate carrier. That's the kind of thing I try and make when I do my customs. I love the back plate on that. And then it has a little piece of wire that's tucked into the vest that works for the communication gear there, which is pretty cool. Trying to figure out. All right, looks like the front pouches plug in, so it's modular, which is pretty cool. And then there are pegs for it to open. I'm gonna have to heat that up. I'm gonna pause it real quick here, soften this up, and we'll get right back to it. All right, so just heated it up for about 20 seconds with the blow dryer. Oh, excuse me, makes it super malleable. Yeah, the pouches look like they can just, like you could take them off. I'm not going to. Let's see if the plate carrier will go over her go over that first harness. I don't think it will. Yeah, no, that first harness is gonna have to come off. All right, let's do that real quick. Kind of figured that it would not work together, but you never know. All right. These plate carriers, this is something that I wish somebody would make. Somebody like Marauder would make these more realistic and in huge numbers, because these are exactly what I use on like almost all of my realistic military customs. These are fantastically sculpted. Tons of like pouches already added on. Of course, it's supposed to peg right back in. I always have trouble getting pegs to go back in once I've opened them up. So I don't usually force it or sit there and try and get it back in. All right. So there she is with the plate carrier on. I think that looks fantastic. Playability is one of the things that I always definitely go over, and there is just no end to the amount of playability with this, since you've got interchangeable hands, you got a vest, you got a plate or a vest, and you've got a harness, so you can switch those out. She has a leg pouch, and then depending on if you want your figure to be right or left-handed, she has right and left leg pistol holders, and they're both sculpted different. Oh wait, no, they're both, no, I'm sorry, they're both right hand draws, but they're two different sculpts. So you've got two different holsters to choose from, which I think is really cool. I'm probably gonna go with this one. Might want to heat that up and then slide that on. And then knee pads. Comes with two knee pads. Again, the arm interchangeable hands, and then she comes with like, I think it's supposed to be a piece of armor that goes on her arm. It kind of reminds me of the like cat card holders, like arm identification holders that a lot of the people wore in like Afghanistan and stuff on their arms. It kind of looks more like that than it does a piece of armor, which I kind of like. And then a really cool scar. It's got the sight on top, the grip on the bottom, and a laser dot on the top, and then a silencer, and it's all one single piece. Yeah, all one single piece. The silencer doesn't come off, the magazine doesn't come out. And then a pistol, kind of a SIG frame. Not quite a Glock, but not quite anything else. And that is what's in the box. I am going to pause it and heat up the knee pads and the holsters and finish gearing her up real quick. Okay. Well, her vest is coming undone. Her plate carrier is coming undone because I didn't get the pegged in. But anyway, there she is all geared up. To get the accessories on, like the thigh rigs and the knee pads, what I did was I heated up the ankle joints and then just popped her boots right off, heated up the holster, the leg rig, the knee pads, each for about 5 seconds on high heat, and then slid them on, and then heated up the boot again for about 5 seconds and popped it right back on. To get the arm thing on, I heated up the wrist to soften up the plastic there, pulled the hand on, pulled the hand out, heated up the like ID thing, whatever you want to call that, slid it on, heated up the wrist again, and popped the arm back on, or the hand back on. So stuff like the knee pads and that wrist, or the like ID or armor on the arm, those don't really like to stay in place too well. Actually, the knee pads aren't too bad. Usually stuff like that moves, well, that left knee pad moves around. What I might recommend doing, just if you don't plan on taking this apart again, which I do not, is bending the knee at both joints and getting just a drop of glue on the kneecap, and then seating the knee pad on that, and then hitting it with a bit of super glue accelerator. That way the knee pad will be glued to the knee, and it will not affect the movement with the joints. I am thinking about doing that, but chances are I probably won't play with this particular figure that much, just because I don't want to lose the gear. But I would recommend maybe gluing those knee pads and that arm thing in place if you are planning to play with this quite a bit. Let's give her guns. She's got that nice pistol. See how she looks with the pistol. I'm gonna give her the pistol real quick here. I just want to see how the hands hold weapons. Yeah, looks really nice in there. My one complaint with the Joy Toy, most of the Joy Toy figure, one of my complaints with the Joy Toy figures is that the holsters don't hold the pistols very well. This seems to hold it quite well, and I'm going to look at my other so I have one of the other Planet Green Valley figures, and you can see she's still got her pistol in there. And let's look at the other. Oh, what did we just lose there? Something just came off. One of her pouches came off. I'm not sure where it came off of. I'm guessing her plate carrier, but I don't know where. She might have been holding it too. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Anyway, she's still got her pistol as well. So these particular figures do seem to hold on to their pistols very well, which is nice. So that's the other Planet Green Valley figure that I have. Let's give her her rifle. I love the sculpt of this rifle. The paint apps on it are fantastic. It's a nice hard plastic, unlike the new weapons that are coming with the G.I. Joe retro figures, which are just like soft and rubbery and are horrible and horribly sculpted. All right. So there you go, all geared up. These are fantastic figures. Playability, like I said, is just endless. Just the amount of gear. The articulation's fantastic. They seem to be a lot more stable than the Joy Toy figures. They have different joints in the shoulders. Well, they have different joints, period, than what Joy Toy is using. They're more in line with what Marauder Task Force is doing. So they're definitely a lot more stable, and they aren't going to break like Joy Toy figures tend to. In most of my reviews, I say I've only had a few Joy Toy figures that have The joints have been broken, but now that I've had my figures for a couple years, as I'm going through them, I'm finding the joints, especially the shoulder joints, are breaking quite frequently. I just made a custom cover girl using a Joy Toy figure, and her shoulder joint was busted. So I had to heat it up and pull it out of the torso, and the bottom part was lodged in the upper part of the arm. I had to go in with a Dremel and Dremel that piece out, do a little orthopedic surgery on that Joy Toy figure, and then heat it up and put a new joint in. Since I have a bunch of figures, I have a bunch of spare joints, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's just irritating, especially when you pay that much for something. I really like the Joy Toy stuff. I really want to love it, but those joints, man, they're just kind of a pain in the ass. All right, so this is the Planet Green Valley Virginie figure. Customizing was the one thing I was going to touch on real quick. Oh, excuse me. Heartburn from my coffee. If I was going to customize this, and boy, I am tempted because I've got a really good idea for this. That nice tank top and the shorts, if I had if I had the right head, this would make a very cool Lara Croft figure. So all I need was some long hair and a braided ponytail. I'd probably get rid of the plate carrier, but leave the accessories or switch it out for a Marauder belt. And I can make a really awesome Lara Croft custom with this particular buck. I'm not going to customize these. I really like this particular line of figures. I'm sure you've seen my work if you're watching the channel, and you know that I'm a big fan of female action figures, and then I'm a big fan of realistic military and sci-fi military figures. And this is a blend of kind of all of that. So this is really right up my alley. So realistic military female action figures. I really am digging this. I'm not going to customize this. I wish I had another one. I wish these figures were a little more readily available for a bit more reasonable price. So that's kind of my only complaint on these, is these are really hard to get a hold of, and they're really hard to get a hold of for a decent price. I'd like to thank Boss Fight Studios once again for sticking with it and getting my pre-order filled. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. I love the figure. And I'm going to pause it here, and I'm going to do a quick shot of all three of these together. So here we go with all three of the Planet Green Valley figures that I currently have. The sculpting, painting, detail is phenomenal. These are very well put together figures. They do not suffer the same problems that are inherent to the Joy Toy figures. I will happily support this line once it becomes more readily available. I'm hoping Big Bad Toy Store will get pre-orders for these because I follow the creator's Facebook page, and he keeps putting up new stuff. They have astronauts. They're going to do a male version of these figures, and I will happily buy those if they become more readily available and for a reasonable price. Like I said, those are kind of my only complaints right now. These are really hard to get a hold of, and they're really hard to get a hold of for a reasonable price. So again, thank you, Boss Fight Studios, for fulfilling my pre-orders on these. I believe these were the only three that I had pre-ordered. I expected nothing, and Boss Fight came through and got me all three. So once again, thank you for that. And with that, that will be all that I have for this particular video. However, so check the channel. I do have a review of the new Joy Toy Seal figures. Should be up probably about the same time that you see this, so check the channel for that. All don't know that we've got any special shows lined up for the general geekery. We're still trying to get the creators of the Robo Skull Kickstarter on the show. Having a little scheduling conflict with that. We will get them on at some point in time. Might be after the Kickstarter's closed. I don't know. We are still kind of in the middle of that. As always, we're interested to hear who you would like to see on the show as guests, or if you'd like to be on the show as a guest yourself, please let either JD or I know, and we will be happy to try and get those people on the show for you. I don't think I have any particular 2-minute tutorials planned at this point in time, but you never know, because those kind of things just like strike me at like, ooh, this is, I should make a tutorial about this. The one other thing that I want to say, and I'm going to say this in probably all the videos from here on out until we're ready to do this, is if you're going to participate in the General Geekery Viewer Invitational Customizing Challenge, and that is where you customize one figure and you base it off any holiday that you want. We will be doing the reveal mid-January, so if you want to be on the show, you need to get in touch with JD or I on Facebook or Instagram and give us contact details, because we do this over Zoom, so we will need an email address to send you an invite for the show. If you want to participate in the challenge but do not want to be on the show, still get in touch with either JD or I, and send us pictures of your custom when you get it done, because probably preferably be me. Send the information to me, because I'm probably going to be the one doing the work. But get me pictures of your customs, and because I will be putting a gallery together of everybody's work once we are all done. But once again, don't post any work in progress pictures on social media. This is kind of a surprise kind of thing. It's customizing challenge, so you're more than welcome to put teasers up like, ooh, I've got all the parts I need for my figure, or I've got my figure done, or I've got started painting it, whatever you want, but don't put pictures up, because we want this to be a surprise. And again, the reveal will be mid-January. We haven't set a date on that, but get in touch with either JD or I if you want to be on the show, because we need contact details. With that, I think that's about all I got for this particular episode. Stay tuned for the Joy Toy Navy SEAL review. There were 3 figures. I'm going to do that all as one video instead of 3 videos. As always, please do that fun social media stuff like, share, subscribe, and comment below. And as always, thank you for watching.